Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talking Movies with D, and that's me. Here on the show, we give you everything movie news related, and we basically give you our opinion and sometimes go on rants on what everything means. I'm your host, Derek Woodron, actor, model, and big movie buff, and I might as well start saying I'm joined by my co-host, OJ. What's going on, though?
What up?
Don't say anything else to the people, comic book purists, all that good stuff.
I'm back talking movies, so let's do it.
Let's get on it. So, the biggest news of this week is and it's kind of the news that everybody's been talking about for a while and wondering what's going to happen, is we finally got our Spider-Man. And sadly, it's not who we thought it was going to be, Asa Butterfield. It's actually Tom Holland. Tom Holland is somebody I've never heard of until this news came out, because he was in Locke, which I want to see, I haven't seen, and then another movie called Impossible that I haven't seen, never heard of. But I've heard he was good. From what I'm hearing, he has great acting chops. And also what came out with this news was we have our director for the Spider-Man film, and that is John Watts, somebody who else is unknown for the most part. He's made some small films, Cop Car and Clown, but I've never seen him and never heard of him until maybe 2 days ago. So, I mean, what do you think about not just Tom Holland, but also John Watts, the director?
I'm in the same boat with you. I really don't have any opinion here or there because I'm not really familiar with either one of them. So I think that's good, because maybe a lot of people, it's almost like when you go see a movie done by guy who did the Transformers. What's his name?
Oh, Michael Bay.
You kind of come when you go into a Michael Bay movie, you kind of go in with the expectation how you think, perception of how things are going to be. Yeah, exactly. So with going in, or even with something like a Steven Spielberg, you're going with the expectation like, this better be good. It's going to be good. But with an unknown cast, I mean, I think it leaves you with your mind open. So maybe you just accept more of it. So hoping to go back to that, even though, as we discussed before, I'm kind of done with the Spider-Man series, man. All these reboots and changing of Spider-Man. So
hold on, so you're not gonna watch Spider-Man when it comes out? I'm
just saying, like, I can go into this one with an open mind because it's fresh and everything like that. But generally, I'm tired of all the reboots in the Spider-Man. So I'm tired of it.
Oh, so they're not gonna do an origin story. They're just gonna pick it up from where he's at, right?
So all of that stuff with the Sinister Six and all that stuff.
That's in the trash.
Okay.
But basically, like, because it's going to be in the Marvel Universe, and the Marvel Universe already exists. So basically, Spider-Man's been Spider-Man. He's just been nobody's known about him, or not a lot of people have known about him because he's only in New York. Avengers do big stuff. He's doing little crime stuff. He's he's supposed to be, I think, a freshman in high school.
Okay.
So he's kind of small on that. My opinion on it, I'm hurt because I like Asa Butterfield. I mean, the only real reason is because I've seen what he does and I know how capable he is. But I guess that should also make it so I understand more, or I'm more comfortable, because if he beat out Asa Butterfield, he must be good. And then on top of that, in his audition, or part of the audition that they did was they had to do screen tests with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, who were going to be in Civil War, and it's heavenly rumored that Spider-Man's supposed to be in it too, even though they're already shooting Civil War, that Spider-Man's going to be in there somehow. So that gives me a lot of promise, because that means RDJ and Chris Evans both had to like him as well, and they had good chemistry. And if for Civil War and for everything, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing, is Spider-Man and Robert Downey Jr. And Iron Man or Tony Stark, whichever their argument and their banter is going to be funny.
Yeah. Because
they're both snarky, smart, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Then when it comes to John Watts, I kind of go to what's been working for me over the years is trust Marvel, because that's what most of their directors, they're not huge directors, and some of them I didn't know about until they did a Marvel film, but people knew about them, like James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy. He did Slither and some other smaller movies that most people might miss. Granted, John Watt, I think Cop Car was in a film festival or something like that, but that's all I know about him. But so I mean, with both of them, it's just, in my opinion, I'm like, I trust Marvel to do it right. And if it was just Sony, I would be like, yeah, I don't like this. But since it's Marvel and Sony working together, I believe that it's going to be right. And because they're taking their time with it, because they can't, there's no more rebooting Spider-Man after this, because he's going to be with Marvel. And if they reboot him in Marvel, with Marvel, that's going to mess up Marvel's timeline. So there's no way they're rebooting that. I do want to ask you, what do you think they're going to do with if Spider-Man is in Civil War? What do you think they're going to do with him? Because obviously he can't be a main focus because they're putting him in the game so late. Because they've been shooting for like 2-3 months now.
It's kind of hard to say that because Spider-Man is such an iconic character in the Marvel universe. He's like,
they're changing. So I mean, just throw it out there. He probably won't have that role, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but it goes back to the comic book days of the Civil War in the story, and he didn't play a huge role in that, if any at all. It was more so Iron Man and Captain America. They were leaders of each side and stuff like that. So I can see him taking a back seat and just kind of doing his own thing. But because he is such an iconic character in the Marvel Universe, I think he's going to probably get more screen time than maybe Thor. You know what I'm saying? But
Thor's not in it.
What?
He's going to be in that. He's one of the few people that aren't confirmed to be in Civil
War. Well, I guess he'll fill that role in a little bit. So if it's not confirmed that he's in it,
honestly, I have no idea. I mean, because in the comics, it's all about Spider-Man revealing his identity or whatever. That, I mean, they can do it, I guess, technically, because people know who he is, I guess, now. It's going to be made that he knows, but they don't know who he is as a character or whatever. So, I mean, they can come out and be like, well, Spider-Man, he's a kid, actually, blah, blah, blah. So I guess they could do that. But that in that comic, the whole Civil War was about, hey, who's the identities of these people in the Marvel universe we have now, in the movie universe. Everybody knows who everybody is, so it's like not a big deal. So it's kind of hard to say what they do. Now, not to say that they could do that with him because you don't know who Spider-Man is. So it'd be a big deal for him and a big deal for people to realize it's a kid or whatever. So. This
is so hard for me to do, and I know we talk about it. We talk about almost every show about my gripe with the comic books and stuff like that. Like, I think in not the last two Spider-Mans, but the one before that, like, his identity was revealed, and he was on the train, and he was stopping the train, like, they're like, oh, he's just a kid, like...
that was a 30-year-old man. Let's be real about it. Like.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though, like, we already went through all that, and it's like, are we going to really do this again, like, with the same character? I know it's a different character, it's a different universe, but, like, we've already seen... It's
going to technically be different, because now the world's going to see Spider-Man. Only those two people on the train saw him.
Yeah, but okay, but like you said, Spider-Man's been kind of localized to just New York. Like, all the New Yorkers know who Spider-Man is.
But they don't know who he is. They don't know his face.
All right.
I mean, I'm saying that might happen. I think I was assuming that they wouldn't go with that. I think they'd do something else with. I think it's gonna be. I really think it's gonna be a small role where he comes in. Him and Tony Stark have a little back and forth. If they have him working with Chris Evans, it's going to have to be both. He's going to have scenes with both of them.
Yeah.
And then see how that goes. I mean, it makes sense, them fighting over, hey, we want the kid on our side. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go on Robert Downey Jr.'s side because he's more intelligent. He can get with him scientifically.
I mean, that's just my gripe. You know, that's just my gripe. We've already been through the ups and downs of all these different characters, and now it's like somebody else. It's like we already went through that with Spider-Man.
And I liked Andrew Garfield. They made a bad movie.
Yeah.
But anywho, move on to our next. Oh no! Before I do that, favorite superhero movie.
It's a tough one. It's like, do I pick my favorite one growing up, which would probably be like Ninja Turtles or something like that? You know,
Secrets of the
Ooze, or do I pick something that's more current? And I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go more current. I'll probably go with the Avengers, the first Avengers.
The Avengers. I'm in the same boat. Avengers is my favorite film, and there's a lot of them that give me like. What's up there? Because when you mentioned Ninja Turtles, how many times have we quoted that movie? You know, growing up, and then you got Avengers. Even for me, the second one's up there. Guardians, Days of Future Past. There's all of Winter Soldier. All of them are up there, and make me wonder. But Avengers is just something else. It's in a whole other ballpark. But on to our next topic, and the next topic is a new trailer that came out, and it's for the movie Daddy's Home, a new Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg movie. And the synopsis is real quick and short, and it's when a divorced guy's ex-wife remarries someone way more uptight, he re-enters her life and wreaks havoc. So Will Ferrell is playing the stepdad who always wanted to be a dad, and Mark Wahlberg plays the ex-husband who is now the dad trying to come back into his kid's life. And the way I took it, it was, for one, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg have a great, I can't think of the word.
Chemistry?
I don't know why I couldn't think chemistry for whatever. But they have a great chemistry. We saw them in the other guys, and they both were hilarious, the other guys to me. So in this trailer, I found myself laughing out loud. I'm hoping they save the best jokes for last, but I don't see this situation ever happening to me, but it's a funny situation that I'm sure happens to people where the stepdad's there, the kids don't really like him, but they accept him or whatever, and he's doing his best to, get the love from the kids, and then dad comes in, he naturally has it, but he's not really a good dad, and then they're competing for who the kids like more, going back and forth. So I couldn't picture it happening to me, but I know it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be good. It's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. I like both of their movies. Well, what do you think?
Just back on what you said about their chemistry back from the other guys, which was good, and I didn't really see that coming. I never really seen from Mark Wahlberg that funny comedic side, but I mean, I guess working with all these funny people in Hollywood, you develop it a little bit. And
you think he's funny in other guys?
No, he was. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't see it coming. Oh, yeah. I didn't see that from him. I really thought I would laugh at him like that. He does a really good job of playing the serious tough guy roles and stuff like that. So to see him on the other side of it, I mean, he still kind of does. I mean, that's the role he's playing. This like a tough guy, but he can still make fun of himself. And I mean, hats off to him for being so diverse. But Will Ferrell's my guy. So
there's rarely a movie he has that I've done.
I was a little disappointed with Get Hard. Just because there was two, comedic giants in there with him and Kevin Hart, and I ran
out of steam.
Yeah, I just don't think it didn't have all the laughs that it needed to carry the whole thing. But if this is anything like the other guys, I think it'll be a definite pleasure for me to watch. So
the one thing I thought was kind of funny, and it made me think of another Mark Wahlberg, and he just had a cameo, and it was a Date Night with Steve Carell, because Will Ferrell's head's in the wall. And he's like, good thing nobody got hurt. He's like, I got hurt. And he's kind of ignoring them. He's like, I'm going to help you down. He's like, put on a shirt. And that same thing happened in Date Night. He's like, why do you still not have a shirt on? Like, Mark Wahlberg, stop trying to show you're big and everything, messing with people. I mean, that's a good joke, though. It's real funny. Yeah. So now that we got the trailer out the way, that's all our movie news for today. But as always, we have to do our movie picks. And OJ, I'll let you go first on your theater pick.
Theater pick is an easy one. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably already seen it. I took my kids to go see it. I'd probably go see it again, and that movie would be Jurassic World. So great movie. I feel like it reached back and gave you that bit of nostalgia for all us that grew up in the early '90s with the original Jurassic Park, and kind of had to suffer through a few not so good Jurassic Park movies, but I feel like this one is back to form, and it has all the suspense and all the action that you could ask for, and it felt good sharing that with my kids, get them back kind of interested in dinosaurs too and stuff like that. So my theater pick's Jurassic World. Go see it if you haven't gone to see it already.
I didn't think about this till you just was talking. In theater, no, I don't think they weren't. No, we were kids when the third Jurassic Park came out, right?
I don't know.
You didn't have Marcus, at least, right?
I don't think so.
So this was the first time they saw a dinosaur like that movie with you. Mm-hmm. The only reason I asked is because I think the first movie I can remember seeing it, or the earliest movie, I've probably seen something else in theater, but the earliest movie I remember seeing was Jurassic Park with my dad. And so that when you said that, I was like, yeah, they had the same moment that I had as a kid, like, because that's what Jurassic World was. It was everything I wanted it to be. I mean, it wasn't better than the first, but it captured the magic of the first one, where you're feeling for the dinosaurs. It's just those moments where you're just, man, they could be real. And then, I mean, the way they took the park and did what that's the true sequel. Is he wanted to make Jurassic Park a park for people to come in, and they did it. That's the byproduct of it. The one, it has issues and, little tidbits, plot holes and stuff like that. I didn't care about that. It was just fun. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I wish, and it's not even serious, but it was one thing I wish they did, when they went to the doors and it was like, oh, we're entering the park. I wish it had been like in the movie. Yeah. I was like, I wish they had made it a huge. I mean, it was big doors, but it didn't show like it was huge doors. I mean, that was the beginning of the movie. So I'm like, man, I wish they'd have did that, but the movie paid off. I mean, it gave you everything you wanted. It had its little Easter eggs, and I can't complain about that movie. And it amazes me because it was a pun intended. This movie was a monster. At 208 at weekend box office opening weekend, which beat every movie, Avengers included. Worldwide in this first weekend, it made like $586 million. And it's breaking records. And then this is the second weekend out, and it made I think 102 of millions, like in its second weekend. Like that's kind of unheard of. So it had a 50% drop, but it was like the movie. If you just talk in the U.S., it made over 300 million already, and people are going to see. Like I saw it twice already, and everybody's going to see it. And I remember we were talking earlier about is any other movie going to open bigger? And the next movie that would have a legitimate chance is Star Wars. And honestly, as much as I'm a Star Wars fan, it's not going to beat it. And it's not going to beat it opening weekend. I should say that. And gross total complete. If Star Wars is as good as I think it's going to be, it'll beat it. But the difference in the two is, and I think you said it best, is Star Wars technically is a cult movie where only Star Wars fans are really going to see it. And granted, there's tons of Star Wars fans, so it's going to clean up. It's going to kill. Mm-hmm. But everybody everybody wants to see dinosaurs.
Everybody wants dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, if Star Wars, some people be like, I'm not really with Star Wars because it's in space, it does this. Mm-hmm. But everybody and their mom does dinosaurs. I think I saw with like 5 people, and 3 of them were over 60. And they don't go to movies like that, but they're like, yeah, I want to see the Omnisaurus new thing. I want to see the one grab the shark out the water and all that. So that movie was just a monster. Yeah. My movie pick, and I know you're gonna comment on it too. It's gonna be funny because it's an animated movie. It's Inside Out. Now, since late last year, I've been hearing people talk about the movie and like critics and stuff because they were able to see like a 10-minute clip of it and talking about how good it's gonna be. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically it's a new Pixar movie. Trust in Pixar. Pixar's always great. But it's an original film about a little girl, but it's really what goes on in her mind. And it's dealing with your feelings. It's sadness, joy, disgust, fear, and anger. And it's basically telling her story is she moved from, I don't remember, she was from somewhere to San Francisco. Minnesota. She moved from Minnesota to San Francisco. And the reason why, hold on, let me backtrack before I even get to that. Pixar and their clips in the beginning of the movie. I knew I was gonna talk about this movie, and I wanted to talk about the little volcano clip before it. And the clip kind of put me in the mood of Pixar because the clip does exactly what the movie does and what Pixar always does. They have you happy and hopeful. They break your heart. And then they give it back. They take it from you, take your heart away from you, make you feel all these feelings, and then give it back. And the kids movie, it's like I don't want to give spoilers away, but it was that was I thought was great, and the song and everything was cool. But for Inside Out, it was the thing that really got me and made me. I was worried about it because I'm in a crowd. I mean, it's families in there, and I'm with my goddaughter, and I'm laughing, but I hear grown men cracking up like super hard, and I'm laughing too, but I'm like, my goddaughter's not laughing at those jokes because they definitely go over her head. Yeah. And so I'm like, I wonder if she likes it too. Like as an adult, I love it, and it's making me think about moving as a child and stuff like that because it deals with that how you feel when you move, you change best friends and all that kind of stuff. And then when we got out, she's like, oh no, I did love it. It was funny, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's for kids and it's for adults, and then that's what Pixar always does, and it's crazy that they're able to come up with something so clever, something that make you think, make you sad, make you laugh, and the way they did it with all the different feelings was just great. What you saw it with your kid?
Yeah, I think it's mass appeal. I mean, I think everybody can relate to a lot of those situations. Like me myself, like I was thinking, like, okay, when I get upset, it's like my anger is driving the machine now, and it's like, well, my anger is always driving the machine, But it's just that mass appeal. It kind of relates to everybody, and I mean, everybody has feelings. Everybody feels different things, and it kind of just shows you. Even in the scene, they showed it in the trailer, so I don't really think it's too much of a spoiler. When they're sitting at the dinner table, and the wife is trying to communicate with the husband, and inside the husband, he's like, "What are you saying, woman?" Like he just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's like, "What? We missed something. What happened?"
Yeah, so they're all talking. Everybody's confused, and I mean, like, I think we can all relate to that kind of stuff. So the fact that they were able to capture that, animated, put it in a movie, I think was great. And like you said, Pixar always does that with the kid movies. Always put like adult jokes in there too, so so that we can have fun too. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fresh. I thought it was creative. I already told you what I didn't like about the movie, but
what did you like?
I didn't like one of the characters. I didn't like so like you said, there's different emotions. And I didn't like the sadness emotion in the movie.
She's just a drag.
She just seemed kind of annoying to me.
Yeah. As sad people would be annoying because they're always sad. Just yeah. But yeah, I love the movie. That's probably a good chance I'll see it again. Find somebody to go with. Yeah. But something I want to say about it's the thing about Pixar is they'll make you can take it like as a kid they just saw a movie that was funny and it was cool, but somebody who's grown up is like, this is a real small spoiler and it's a small spoiler, but how certain memories make up your personality. And it talks about that. That's crazy movie. I'm watching a kid movie and it's making me think about something that I never would have thought about is. So certain moments as a kid, it's like, oh, that makes it so. Oh, hey, I like basketball. Basketball is my main thing. Mm-hmm. And then as we grow up, certain things change. Hey, I don't really do this anymore. I don't like that, and it's because of certain reasons. And they deal with that on how, like, why it happened and how it's like that kind of stuff. And then what's the new best thing you like and stuff like that. So, man, that really did it for me. I was in the movie theater, really, like I was laughing, I was really thinking, and I just enjoyed myself. So that's why I had to make that my pick. And I knew OJ was going to pick Jurassic World, so that made it easy. So I can talk about that too. Cool. But what's your Blu-ray pick?
My Blu-ray pick was going to have to be Chappie.
Is that out on? Oh, that just came out on Blu-ray.
I think it is.
It just came out on
Blu-ray. And just the reason for that is because I think going into it, I was expecting more of like a Johnny Five. What is that movie called?
It's not called Short Circuit.
Short Circuit.
I love that movie as a kid.
So that's what I'm saying. Every time I hear about like a robotic movie or robots interacting with humans, I always go back to Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. And I was expecting that, and he kind of did do that because he had his own personality and he was doing his own thing. And so I mean, it wasn't like it's not a movie for everybody. Like, it's not a movie that I would sit and watch with my kids. But it was funny to me because of the robot's personality. I mean, the humans are trying to teach him to do bad things and stuff like that. But I think at his core, he wants to be good and he wants to do the right thing. But there's all these other things going on in the world with like militarized robots and stuff like that. And he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. So I think they did a good job overall with the movie. And that's why it's my Blu-ray pick. I thought it was different. It was a different take on the whole robot getting a conscience, interacting with humans thing.
It's funny because when Rob, my cousin asked me the other day about what I think about Chappie. I guess him and his girl were having it. Like, one of them liked it. I don't know who liked it or who didn't, but one of them liked it and one of them didn't. And I'm in the middle with it where, at first, when we bring it up, and my first thought is, it was okay. Mm-hmm. And then thinking about some of the stuff that happened when they were teaching them bad stuff and Chappie being bad, and I was like, that was funny to me. And I mean, any movie, granted, I might not watch. I'll gotta watch that movie at least one more time. Yeah. But for most movies, if I don't watch it again, at least I laughed. Even if I don't watch it, I'm like, I laughed at this point. And that was that movie where the story wasn't great, action wasn't great. There were some characters I hated, but Chappie was great. And that's the main focus. Is he was funny and he made you feel as a robot. And that's got to be the main goal of any robot movie, is you're feeling for the robot and you like their personality and whatnot. So it definitely did that for me, and I got to watch that movie because some of those scenes were super funny. Yeah. But my movie pick is actually Kingsman.
I never finished that, man. I started watching like 3 times and I never finished it.
I have it, and I don't know if I'll get Chappie. I'll maybe do Redbox Chappie, but we talked about it before when it first came out. I saw it in theater, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail. But man, that movie's good. It's like I can't say it's gonna be in my top 10 because we still got 6 months roughly left for the year. But man, right now it's in my top 10. And it might be higher than that because the action's great. And no, you don't take this is rated R. You don't take your kids to see this movie because there's cussing in it, and yeah, it's out there, but. Yeah, there's a scene. I'm not gonna break down. There's a church scene, and it's where most of the action or the best action takes place, and it's hardcore. Where he's fighting and beating up people, and it's kind of like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's kind of giving you a wink because it's kind of it's like all the spy movies. It's basically like, hey, we're a spy movie, but going to be different than the core Spider-Man? Because they even talk about it like, oh yeah, who do you like, James Bond, or do you like, whoever Born Identity was forgot Matt Damon's character in that movie.
I forgot his name.
I never saw those, but I even though I heard they're good, I need to see them. But Jason Bourne, it's like you're Jason Bourne, like it's like just bringing up different spies and talk about it. So I mean that movie, I've watched it probably 5 times now. I know I saw it either 2 or 3 times in the theater, and I've seen it twice since I got it.
Okay,
but it's good. Samuel Jackson, and he gives stuff a list when you got a girl with swords for feet and yeah, it's a good movie. It's a real good movie. But anyway, that's all we got for today. So I want to remind you guys to click the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, so make sure we know that you're liking the page and liking the video, so we keep them coming more often. Also, excuse me again. You can follow me on at Derek Woodron on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all that other good stuff. Also, make sure to email us at no, that's the wrong thing. What is it? Make sure to email us at talkingmovieswithD@gmail.com and let us know what you think about how we felt about these movies. Did you like them? Did you dislike them? Or bring up subjects that you might maybe want us to talk about. Because we'll bring if you have a good enough question, we'll talk about it on the show as well. So that's all I got. Deuces.